Michael Brunner is a well-known South African actor, currently playing one of the major lead roles in the popular TV series Isadingo.
Oh, I'm thrilled to hear that.
Winter's here, Putty. There's a fight in the air.
Why did you wear your jersey then?
Because the weather forecaster said it wasn't going to be that cold.
But you must have realized it was cold when you went out there.
Yeah, what? It wakes me up, man.
No, I'm not quite sure what you're complaining about then, Skip.
I'm not complaining. Hey, what the hell's got into you?
Nothing.
Then why are you biting my head off?
Well, I'm just tired, okay? I'm sorry. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I've heard voices the whole night.
Really? I didn't hear anything.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello, Lucy. Sleep well.
Oh, fine, thanks.
I'm sure you did. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Thanks, Skip.
Hey, go.
You have got all morning to read it. I've got 10 minutes. You don't mind, do you?
I'm wanting to read the sports page, by the way.
Yeah, well, your team lost, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like all this bloody loose here. Can't live in this damn madhouse. Let's leave it back and find it.
Okay.
So, something was going on last night, wasn't it?
You'll have to ask Lucy.
Michael has been an actor all his life, on stage as well as on screen, and turned fully professional at the age of 48 after a reversal in life experience. He has known all the ups and downs that come with his line of work, the excitement of being in successful productions and the hardships of being out of work for long periods. He enjoys his profession, and like any good actor, has made the character he plays in Isadingo an integral part of his personality. But once the cameras stop, once the day's shooting comes to an end, he cannot wait to leave the hustle and bustle of the city behind and make his way to the place he calls home, about 65 kilometers out in the country. This time of year, he drives a little slower than he normally does. It's autumn. The cosmos is in full bloom, and Michael enjoys every minute of the colourful countryside. He arrives at his small holding, a property of approximately 5 acres, which he bought as an empty plot in 1989. Michael built this house with available material from the plot. Much of the timber used in the construction of the house came from the black wattle trees in the surrounding forest. The thatching used on the roof was collected from the nearby grasslands. Michael and his wife Gunda opted not to be connected to the local electricity supply, so every hole drilled and every plank cut was done by hand. The whole building process was completed in a year.
I realized that if I had to live in a city, within 1 month I'd drink myself to death. So I thought to myself, well, better I go and find a small holding. I'm a multifaceted human being, and I thought, yeah, okay, a small holding is the way to go. So to find a small holding, And to travel from there into Johannesburg to work, I didn't want to travel into the rising sun. So therefore I had to find it to the west of Johannesburg. And likewise, traveling back from Joburg in the afternoon, I didn't want to travel into the setting sun. So it had to be east of Johannesburg. So I went through to the Weather Bureau and said, okay guys, what are our prevailing winds here? They said, well, mainly northwest. So I thought, well, that's good, because I don't want to be downwind of a nuclear facility. I don't want to be downwind of a big industrial complex. And eventually what emerged was here, Nest Park. So we bought here. It was in 1989, and it was wall-to-wall trees. As far as the eye could see, you couldn't even see 50 meters into the trees. I like black wattle, because a black wattle tree is a fast grower. They can grow very straight. I knew I could utilize the timber. So that was the whole raison d'etre for this whole thing. Progressed from there to what you see today. Beautiful clearing here, animals walking around, peaceful, calm, quiet. And somewhere in the good book it says, put me to the test, says the Lord, and see if I do not open windows in the sky for you. And that's what's happened. So we've called the place Windows in the Sky.
Michael had to find a way of making bricks from available material and lay the bricks at the same time. He found the answer in a homemade traveling mold.
Right, I realized that if I wanted to use this soil to build a house, I would have to use a traveling mold. So I made a traveling mold. It's the equivalent of 12 bricks, normal size bricks. Now when I pull the lever, this whole lot moves forward and leaves behind my brick that I've made. So on that basis, I only had to handle the material once. So this was the traveling mold that I made. This is the handle that moves it forward. I'll show you exactly how it works. Billy, will you start throwing in there, please? So one takes the mixture, which must not be too wet. Carry on as fast as you like. As fast as you like. And then one tamps it down. One tamps it down. Right, now hold on, Billy. Hold on. What we do now is that one now puts in rocks into this whole thing. So as many rocks as you like go in here to actually act as a filler. Right, you can put more in. Thank you. Put it on this rear section here. Okay, and more up in the front. Right. Okay, wait a minute, let me just tamp this whole lot now. So this whole lot is tamped hard. The texture must be correct in this lot. Right, fill it up, please. Right. There we go. Now this is the equivalent of 12 bricks. Right, top it in. Again. There it is. Okay. Right. There is a brick. Can you hold that, please? I now connect up the lever to here. This rear section has got to come out. Give me this, please. Okay. Hold that. You can hold that, belief. This being the first brick. There we go. And it leaves behind the brick. What one does now, the next brick. And that is how it works. That is how this whole house was built, with a traveling mold. I have not tidied up the top. For obvious reasons, this is just a demonstration. But one can tidy it up. One can cut it now with a trowel. One can make it into the shape that one wants. One can also offset it slightly, because this house is curved. That is how you offset it. So now I can do a curved wall, which is exactly like this house is. I wanted to have scaffolding, but I didn't want to spend money on buying scaffolding, because once the job was finished, what do you do with the damn scaffolding? So I took hold of some beer cans, and I cut them open, and I thought, if I can put these things into the wall, and then take poles and stick them into the beer cans in the wall, and take a rubber inner tube, and cut it with a pair of scissors, and wrap this lot around, well, everybody sat at home or sat in an office and wound an elastic band around their finger. You know how damn tight the thing becomes. So this whole thing is held together with rubber bands. The wood comes from the property, and now the labourer can stand up here. The earth mixture is passed to him, and he puts it in a travelling mould on top of the wall. And we just move it forward from hole to hole. That's how it worked.
Testimony to Michael and Gunda's love for outdoor life is this unique donkey boiler, used to heat the water for the open-air bath. Using wood from the surrounding forest, it produces 200 litres of boiling hot water within half an hour.
You know, a lot of people ask me why we built this wall circular. There's no easy answer to that other than to say that a reservoir, circular reservoir, is stronger than a square one. Expansion and contraction of walls. Also, how did my forebears survive the robber baron years in Europe? Because Africa is a country of extremes. So I decided a circular wall, one door. Over there, when that door is down at night, everything is in here. All the vehicles, all the tools, all the animals. We are protected. There are no windows to the outside. We live internally here. We are secure. That is the raison d'etre for everything here.
This house, these walls, they all came out of that hole. But why did I dig the hole here? Why not elsewhere? Because I realized that because we were going to have a thatched roof, if there was ever a fire out in the veld, I would have to wet the roof down. So therefore, I plastered this out. This pool now supplies the water, pumped by this pump, up into sprinklers on the roof. How does the water get here? From my windmill. That 55-watt solar panel gives us the juice into a 105 amp-hour battery. From there, through a sine wave inverter, giving us 220 volts AC. That powers our computers, TV, anything like that. Otherwise, we just use straight 12 volts DC.
The interior of the house clearly shows that careful planning, with the emphasis on practicality, went into the construction. Every bit of space is utilized to its full capacity. The innovative fireplace immediately catches one's attention.
We wanted to have a fireplace in this house, and I thought to myself, well, how does one have a fireplace under a thatched roof? I thought, well, a canopy with a smaller diameter pipe that slides in a larger diameter pipe so that the hot gases are mixed with colder air. So I thought, well, then if the one slides within the other, why don't I make it rise up and down? Which is what I did. So there you see the canopy. And now we have our beautiful fire, visible, warm, and if it starts smoking, I lower the canopy.
There are numerous examples of how innovation as well as opportunism shaped the property into what it is today.
Cast iron stoves are very rare. You just don't find them nowadays. So when I saw this one standing in a guy's backyard, I said to him, hey, what do you want for the stove? He said, well, you've got old John Seymour's book on self-sufficiency. Give me that book, you can have the stove. Deal done.
Michael's wife, Gunda, a qualified physiotherapist and author of a number of books, came to South Africa from Germany in 1993.
I love to live with animals because each one has got its own personality, even the tiniest little chick. And you learn all sorts of interesting things, like sheep have got long tails, and hens, each one, has got her own individual kind of egg. So, for example, when I eat an egg, I know that long brown egg comes from that black hen, or that white round egg comes from that brown hen. And you hear noises that you would never hear in town, like the sound sheep are making when they are eating grass. And also sometimes it is funny because ducks have made their nests under our stairs, and when we go swimming in the pond, the goldfish come and nibble on our feet. I like living in the country because you are close to nature, and I lived in Paris for a couple of years, and all you had there was concrete and car noises, and if you ask me, I would choose the life here out on the plots anytime.
We had to have a place to stay in while we built the main house. So we built this rondavel for 500 rand. And we lived here for 1 year, happy as can be, my darling?
Yebo.
We would hook a chain on these spikes. Chain would hang down from here with a hook at the bottom, and the pots and pans would hang over the fire, and we would cook absolutely beautiful cordon bleu food in the open. And then we'd look up in the evening and watch the bush babies jumping through the trees here. Absolutely idyllic.
When we get visitors, they always take photos of our bush toilet, and then they take these photos back home and show them to their families, and then we get always letters back from the kids with drawings of our toilet, and that is what impresses them most.
In 1997, Michael and Gunda stopped any further construction on their house and concentrated all their money and effort into the building of a boat, an ocean-going yacht with which they hope to cruise the high seas sometime in the future.
One night, Gunda and I were sitting reading, when out of the blue she said to me, "Can you build a boat?" I said, "Yeah, I can build a boat. Why?" She said, "Well, let's build a boat and go and sail the high seas." I said, "Hey, girl, I'm a hell of a lot older than you are. And if I kick the bucket in the high seas, what are you going to do? You're going to transport this stinking cadaver to the nearest port for some bureaucratic person to say, we've got to do a post-mortem on that cadaver. Why did he die? Now you run into expenses. So, what? If I die, chuck me overboard." I said, "If you can do that, I will build a yacht. And I'll build a yacht that you can sail single-handed. Okay?" She said, "Fine." So here she is.
On the 12th of May 2002, they invited all their friends for a special occasion, the roof wetting of the boat.
On the table with the table.
Listen, guys, it is a hell of a moment, a wonderful moment for Gunda and I to be able to stand here, to look around and see my wonderful relatives, near and far, people who have contributed to this boat. Each and every one of you in your respective ways have done so. Wherever Gunda and I sail in this boat, we will be able to know by picking up something to say, that came from that wonderful person. This person did that. We're very sad that Eve is not here today. Eve did the upholstery for our cushions. A very dear and wonderful woman. And again, with love, she said, it's yours, take it. So, to each and every one of you here, we would like you, please, because there's a saying that goes something like this, Lord, you've got a hell of a big sea out there, please watch our little boat. So on that basis, if you could all just direct your energies, your spirituality, to this boat, which is going to house you and me, hey, Babs?
Yes, babes.
So on that basis, I'd like to say to this yacht, Tim Shell, go well. Go well.
And let's sing to our couple here. Oh, they are jolly good fellows. They are jolly good fellows. They are jolly good fellows. And so say all of us. And so say all of us. And so say all of us. For they are jolly good fellows. For they are jolly good fellows. For they are jolly good fellows. And so say all of us. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! And nog een piep voor de boot.
Michael and Gunda enjoy their life out in the country. The animals that share their living space have become an important part of their life, and at all times they feel close to nature. At present, Mike still enjoys his acting career and the role he plays in Isadingo. But if that should come to an end, they are both very much aware that outside their circular enclosure, a new future awaits them. A life on the open sea.